Welcome to the Weekly Option, the podcast for people interested in trading stock options. Each week, we cover trade ideas and opportunities in the stock market right now. Whether you're a beginner, a professional, or just curious about options, this is the show for you. Let's get started. Welcome to the Weekly Option. This is episode 409 on January the 9th, 2026. I'm your host, Eric, and in this week's show, we'll cover the trades from last week on Tilray Brands, Ondas Holdings, Rigetti Computing, and D-Wave Quantum Inc. And we will discuss 4 new trades on Bitfarms, Rezolve AI, Energy Fuels Inc., and EOS Energy Enterprises. Now, it's always great to hear from listeners. If you have any questions about the trades presented here on the show or even about your own positions, feel free to email me. You can email questions to eric@theweeklyoption.com. That's ERIC at theweeklyoption.com. And for those of you who have emailed me recently, I'm a bit backed up. I've been focusing on some end of year stuff and had to take care of a few things, but I'm back in the saddle now, ready to focus on this year. So I'll get back to you soon if you've not heard from me. And if you do have a question or have a question about something that I've said recently or even want to learn more, just shoot me an email and I'll answer. So I've also created a few videos to teach you all the basics of option trading that you'll need to know to be able to follow along with me on this show. You can visit our website and click on the videos tab to watch them, or visit the YouTube channel for the weekly option. The U.S. equity markets pushed to an all-time high weekly close once again. The Dow Jones Industrial Average jumped 1,121 points, closing at 49,504 points on Friday. The S&P 500 index grew 107 points, ending the week at 6,966 points. And now it's time for the topic of the week. The topic of the week is wisdom. Now, how do you gain more wisdom? Is experience the only way to gain wisdom? If you're anything like me, you already know the answer is no. I am always happy to learn from a price someone else had to pay. For instance, if I see you burn your hand on a stove, I don't need to burn my hand to realize the stove is hot. I've shared on the show before that I tend to read quite a bit. In fact, these days, I listen to more audiobooks than I actually read. The book I've been listening to recently and will finish soon is a book by one of my favorite authors, Ryan Holiday. His most recent book, Wisdom Takes Work, is like a recipe for gaining more wisdom. It's backed up both with philosophy and lessons from some notable players from history like Abraham Lincoln and even current times like Elon Musk. So for any of you who are looking for a good book recommendation that could lead to some personal growth this year, 2026, consider picking up Wisdom Takes Work. It's rare that I give an outright book recommendation like this, but I think you'll appreciate it. So Happy New Year. Now let's go ahead and get into the trade review of last week's trades. We're going to start off with the covered call on Tilray Brands, symbol T as in Tango, L as in Lima, R as in Romeo, Y as in Yankee. At the time, the stock was trading for $9.71 per share. I looked at buying stock and selling the January 10 call at 77 cents, hoping for a return of 10.92% in 2 weeks. Well, shares of Tilray Brands fell 55 cents, closing at $9.16 per share on Friday. The call option we sold fell 56 cents, leaving us with a net 1 cent gain on the week if we were to close the trade out immediately. Now, with 1 week left until expiration, you're welcome to close the trade out for roughly even. Of course, the stock price is still above the break-even price, and we really don't have to close this trade. The option will expire in 5 days. I'm looking to let this option expire out of the money, leaving me with just the stock. Then on Monday, January 19th, I'll look to sell a call option in the month of February to collect more premium and increase my net return on this trade overall, ideally. So no adjustments are needed just yet, but you certainly can decide whether or not you'd like to keep that stock beyond expiration Friday. If not, you just exit the trade early by closing it. Next up, we had a cash secured put on Ondas Holdings, symbol O as in Oscar, N as in November, D as in Delta, S as in Sierra. At the time, the stock was trading for $11.04 per share. I looked at selling the January 11 put at 97 cents. That could give us a return of 8.82% on our capital in 2 weeks. Well, shares of Ondas grew $2.65 per share, closing at $13.69 on Friday. The out-of-the-money put that we sold is now even further out of the money. The put itself lost 85 cents, leaving us with a gain of that much in 1 week. Now, this trade is working, so there's no need to make an adjustment. However, if the stock shows any signs of going lower over the next 5 days, I look to exit this trade immediately. No use stressing about it. So it's a nice trade so far, and I like to let it finish out of the money so that I can keep all of the money, keep the full premium that I collected when I sold it, that 97 cents. So nice trade so far, but keep an eye on it like the other trades for the next few days. Next up, we have the credit spread on Rigetti Computing, symbol R as in Romeo, G as in Golf, T as in Tango, I as in India. At the time, the stock was trading for $23.62 per share. I looked at selling the January 23 half, 23 put spread at 16 cents. That could give us a maximum possible loss of 34 cents per spread. Well, shares of Rigetti picked up $1.10, ending the week at $24.72 per share. The out-of-the-money put spread that we sold is now even further out of the money, which is great. With the stock price heading higher, this trade is working out as planned. Now, the stock price is more than $1 above our break-even point, so no need to make an adjustment at this point on this trade either. You definitely want to keep an eye out on the stock, though, for the next 5 days. Hopefully, the stock price will remain above $23.50 per share over the next 5 days, and this spread will expire out of the money. All right, our final trade from last week was a debit spread on D-Wave Quantum Inc., symbol Q as in Quebec, B as in Bravo, T as in Tango, S as in Sierra. At the time, the stock was trading for $28.13 per share. I looked at buying the January 27 half, 28 call spread for 32 cents. That could give us a maximum gain of 18 cents, or that would be a 56.25% return in 2 weeks. Well, shares of D-Wave lost 2 cents, ending the week at $28.11 per share. The in-the-money call spread that we bought is still in the money, and with stock price hardly moving, the original economics of the trade are still intact. Now, we just need this stock to hold tight or go higher in the next 5 days. Even if it sits still, we'll still make our full expected return or our full profit in 5 days. But you want to keep track of the stock on this one too and have an idea of how you would protect this trade if the stock heads lower. No adjustments are needed at the moment, but if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So make sure you have a plan for how you will defend this stock if you need to, if the stock heads lower. All right, so that's it for the review of last week's trades. Expiration for monthly options in January will be in 5 business days on January the 16th. All new trades on today's show will use the February 20th expiration date for monthly options in the month of February. So let's go ahead and get into the new trades. We're going to start off with a covered call. I'm looking at Bitfarms Ltd, symbol B as in Bravo, I as in India, T as in Tango, F as in Foxtrot. Stock ended the week at $2.80 per share. I'm looking at buying the stock and selling the February 3 call at 30 cents. That could give us a return of 17.86% in 6 weeks. Now, you enter this trade by buying stock for $2.80 and selling the February 3 call at 30 cents. This trade makes the most money if stock prices finish above $3 per share. The break-even price on this trade is $2.50 per share. In real terms, the stock purchase will require $280 and you'll collect $30 for selling the option. Next up, we have a cash secured put on Rezolve AI, symbol R as in Romeo, Z as in Zulu, L as in Lima, V as in Victor. Stock ended the week at $3.69 per share. I'm looking at selling the February 3 half put at 50 cents. That can give us a return on capital of 14.29%. Then you enter this trade by selling the February 3 half put at 50 cents. This trade makes the most money if stock prices finish above $3.50 per share. Break-even price on this trade is $3 per share. In real terms, you'll collect $50 for selling the put option, and you'll have $350 locked up just in case you need to purchase the stock. The credit spread this week is going to be on Energy Fuels Inc., symbol U as in uniform, U as in uniform, U as in uniform, U as in uniform. Stock ended the week at $18.13 per share. I'm looking at selling the February 18-17 put spread at 38 cents. That can give us a maximum possible loss of 62 cents per spread. Now you enter this trade by selling the February 18 put at $2.02 and concurrently buying the February 17 put for $1.64. This is a credit spread because we are selling the spread, and this trade makes the most money if stock prices expire above $18 per share. The break-even price on this trade is $17.62 per share. In real terms, you'll receive $38 per spread that you sell and have $62 at risk. And our final trade on this week's show is going to be a debit spread on EOS Energy Enterprises, symbol E as in Echo, O as in Oscar, S as in Sierra, E as in Echo. Stock ended the week at $15.28 per share. I'm looking at buying the February 14-15 call spread for 62 cents. That could give us a maximum gain of 38 cents, or that's a 61.29% return in 6 weeks. Now you enter this trade by buying the February 14 call for $2.78 and concurrently selling the February 15 call at $2.16. This is a debit spread because we're buying the spread, and this trade makes the most money if stock prices expire above $15 per share. The break-even price on this trade is $14.62 per share. In real terms, you'll pay $62 to enter the spread, and your maximum gain is $38 per spread. So that's it for this week's show. Thank you guys so much for listening. I don't know about you, but I am super excited about 2026. There's all sorts of things that I'm working on that's in the air and coming into fruition. And hey, I'm happy you guys are on this journey with me. Hang tight. There's going to be some fun coming real soon. All right. Have a wonderful weekend. And as always, happy trading.
Thank you for listening to the Weekly Option Podcast. Please subscribe to our show and visit us at www.theweeklyoption.com. Disclaimer, there is a very high degree of risk involved in trading. The indicators and strategies described in this podcast are for educational purposes only and should not be construed as investment advice. For our full disclaimer, visit our website at www.theweeklyoption.com.